I'm Ari Glasser,
I'm Briar Gagne.
and we're here on Church Street with Town Meeting TV because we're wondering about what Burlingtonians think about the results of Tuesday's national election, which was an overwhelming Democratic victory, and particularly the election of Zohran Mamdani as the mayor of New York City. So we're just going to be asking people out here a few questions, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So recently on Tuesday, there was a nationwide election. We saw an overwhelming Democratic victory, and Zohran Mamdani specifically won to be the mayor of New York City. So what do you think about if Mamdani's victory will have any impact on local politics or state politics here in Burlington?
Well, I'm not from Burlington. I'm actually from New Jersey, so we had a major big election in New Jersey, as you know, and of course I'm very tied to New York City. But I think that the election results are going to impact the country at large. We have not only elected a Muslim mayor for New York City, which is huge in the United States, but we elected a Muslim woman in Virginia as the lieutenant governor, and she is the first Muslim woman to be elected for statewide office in New Jersey. I think it was a great night in the country, in Virginia, I beg your pardon. I think it was a great night for women. I think it was a great night for democracy at large. There are other major victories. First woman mayor in Detroit, black woman. So these are not traditional heritages that we have voted for in the past, and I think it was an overwhelming statement across the board.
Yeah, and just one more question. If in your opinion, there's any reason that people showed up to vote for Mamdani and all of these candidates nationwide, what would that reason be?
I believe that we have had enough of the Trump administration and the dictatorial nature of his administration. I thought we had had enough in the first administration, but apparently not. But I believe that the people have seen the impacts, the negative impacts on their personal lives, on their professional lives, and on their communities at large with Trump policies and the Republican agenda, which apparently they're all willing to fall in line with his beliefs.
So on Tuesday, we saw a nationwide election with a overwhelming, Democratic victory, and especially Zohran Mamdani won as the mayor of New York City. So he ran on issues that may seem familiar in Burlington, like housing. He wanted to freeze the rent, transportation, and then just affordability in general. So how important do you think these issues are in Burlington, and do you think
Incredibly important, because right now there's so many homeless people, and the prices of stuff is just crazy. Back in '94, I had my first apartment, and I was paying $94 a month. Now for a one bedroom, you're lucky if you pay $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
And do you think that this victory of Mr. Mamdani and Democrats nationwide might have any impact on local politics in Burlington or state politics in Vermont?
I hope so.
Yeah.
It definitely has to be done because it's gotten really bad here.
Do you think that the issues he ran on and that his results, his victory in general, will this have any impact on statewide or local politics here in Burlington?
You want to go first?
You go first.
So I don't actually live in Vermont. She does, but I live in Florida. But I would say, nationwide, his campaign really infused people with a lot of optimism. I think I haven't seen young people get this motivated about coming out to vote and have this level of enthusiasm really ever in the history that I've voted. So I think it's really great to see somebody so young with such charisma taking such a nationwide stage. And I do, as to your question about whether it'll impact nationwide politics, I think it'll probably, the whole world is really watching him right now, and I think it will definitely get people motivated on a nationwide basis because they seem to finally have something they're excited about, which I think is great.
Yeah,
You're
agree.
a Burlingtoner, so
I
you can add local stuff.
And if there was like any reason you think people really went out and voted for Mamdani, like their motivations, what would that reason be?
I think he really did a good job of advertising how he was lowering the cost of living, and I think that's something that everyone kind of wants. So
I think for young people too, he was very savvy about social media
yeah,
and a lot of the ways that young people identify and relate to news that a lot of the older generation politicians aren't. So I think his platform of marketing was really, really spot on.
Mamdani ran on a lot of issues, housing, affordability, transportation. How do you think those issues relate to Burlington, and would his victory have any impact on local politics?
Up here, I'm not really familiar with things. I see there's quite a few homeless around here, so it probably has a lot to do with affordability. But the thing is, I don't hear any solutions in any of the talks up to the election. I heard a lot of free this, free that, and you can't just give everything away for free. So,
And do you think if there's one reason that Mamdani won so handily, like why did people go out and vote for him, do you think?
he spoke of the right things, affordability. That was the main thing. People are hurting. I know my own grocery bill is just outrageous. I have a family of 3 of us, and every week it's incredible the amount of money you spend just for vegetables. What's inflation in vegetables? The apple grows on the tree. Why does it cost more? So, and plus there was no one else to vote for in New York, really, Como or, of course, Curtis Sliwa has got good points. Sounds like a good guy, but he didn't have enough following.
So on Tuesday, we saw a big victory nationwide for Democrats in the federal elections and also in many statewide and citywide elections with Zohran Mamdani winning in New York City. So, and are you from Burlington?
No, I'm from New Hampshire, around southern New Hampshire, Mount Vernon. Pretty small town, but I'm familiar with the area because my sister went to school here.
Okay, that's great. So now Mamdani ran on a lot of issues, housing, affordability, transportation, and how relevant do you think those issues are to Burlington, and do you think his victory might help affect local politics here?
Sure. I think his victory is definitely going to affect politics nationwide. He ran on a campaign that centered workers and workers' rights and like the average person, which I think is something we surprisingly don't see a lot in politics as a whole. So in general, I think this proves that you can run an effective campaign on workers' rights, and despite billionaires and the 1% throwing money against him, it can still win based on a coalition of workers. So I think even though maybe his policies won't maybe be able to be instituted because of roadblocks in American politics, I think this is a huge rhetorical win for everywhere across the country.
If there's one reason that so many people went out and voted for Mamdani, what do you think that reason would be?
I really think it's because he was just something different than a lot of politicians now. We see a lot of older establishment candidates. He's young, charismatic, again, centers his campaign around workers. People have affordability issues. That's something everyone can relate to. So I think he kind of built a different coalition than a lot of Democrats do recently. So I would say that's why a lot of people went out and voted in favor of Mamdani, yeah.
I learned that a lot of people are solution oriented, right? I think they're voting for candidates that are offering more practical solutions. And I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much what I got out of it.
Yeah, it seemed to me that most people were excited about Mamdani winning, and really a lot of them do think that affordability is really one of the main issues both in New York City and in Burlington. But we got a lot of varying perspectives.
If I could add, I think also a lot of people are more aware of like big establishment, like big money than I originally expected.
Very informative interviews here in Burlington tonight, and thank you so much for watching Town Meeting TV.